Hello everyone and welcome back to the last episode of Greenpine Zoo and Gardens for 2024. Yeah, don't be scared. We're far from done with this zoo. We just begun. So, first of all, let's go into Greenpine Zoo and Gardens and see the little thing that I've done within the last episode and today. Because we built the Urban Plate, our little buffet restaurant, right past the entrance to our new and beautiful park. Here you can see the picnic area and the restaurant. And I made some changes. I told you guys in the last episode that I forgot to place a toilet. So, the only thing that would have made sense for me, and also someone of you mentioned it in the comment section of the video, was to delete the counter for the ice cream and place a toilet right behind that. I wanted to have a toilet on the inside actually, because it wouldn't have made sense when you enter a restaurant and then you have to go outside and around the building to go to the toilet. So this wouldn't have been that realistic as I wanted it to be. So it felt like this was the only correct choice to make, even though I had to delete the stuff building that I had hidden in the back of the building. I didn't have any other chance to place the building somewhere else so that it still would have made sense and that our staff actually could go backstage into the building. So maybe if I come up with an idea in the near future, I'm going to make a change. But right now, this seems correct to me. This seems like something that I could live with, and I hope you guys can also. So, what are we going to do today? I said in the beginning this is the last episode of Greenpine Zoo and Gardens for this year. This is also the last episode for the foreseeable time where we are not building for an animal. Yeah, correct. So this means in the next episode we are going to have our first animal. So first episode of the new year, first episode with an animal. I'm looking very much forward to that because that is the most exciting part for me when I build zoos in Planet Zoo, when I am actually able to build a habitat for animals. And I think I also have made a choice which animal is going to move in first, but yeah, you're not going to see that this year and you're not going to hear about that this year. You have to wait and see. But first of all, once again, thank you guys for your support. Throughout the whole last year on my channel, it was really, really amazing. It's now let me think about it. I think it's my 4th year now on YouTube that I'm starting with you guys, and you were so amazing in the past, and I'm looking forward to creating lots of new stuff in the new year with you guys, and therefore I also wish you guys a happy new year. I hope you all will make it safe and sound and healthy, especially into the next new year, and I hope you guys will enjoy what I will come up with in 2025. So therefore, don't forget, because this is the last chance for you guys for this year to hit the like button to my video and also to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done that already. Unfortunately, we missed the 3,000 subscriber mark for this year. I was hoping that we could get there, but as I said, unfortunately we missed it by just a few subscribers. But therefore we do have a goal for the first few weeks or months in 2025. So let's get back to the episode today. What we are going to create, or what I'm creating right now. We are creating a playground. Yeah, you've seen that in the thumbnail already. And I told you guys that I wanted to do something like this in last week's episode already. And that is something that we are going to do today. I already built some playgrounds in my past series, like Brooksburg Zoo. We had a beautiful playground, and I think we also had one in my DLC series that was really just a small one for the small town zoo. And we're going very, very much more into detail today. So I was Googling once again to find some inspiration for playgrounds and what I wanted to have, and therefore I came across some pictures from Adelaide Zoo. Once again, we're in Australia, where they had these little trampolines in the ground. And I thought that this was such a great idea, and I wanted to create something very similar. So I was using those rope pieces. I think, I don't just think, but these are the rope pieces that we got from the Zookeeper's animal pack. Yeah, exactly. And I was using those for the trampoline structure. So I created this circle with the wooden beams and put in the rope pieces, so like a netting, and we pretend that these are just like a bungee ropes. And then I was using the art pieces, or basic shape pieces, whatever you might call it, to have something like a softer area around that, because when you jump on a trampoline you don't want to hit a stone or a hard ground when you come back to the floor. So I was building these, copying it around, like I think it was 4 times. You're going to see that in a second. Just like that. I had a hard time to actually overlap it, so I decided to use the advanced copy mode. Closing the gaps with some larger art pieces. Once again, copying it and circle it around. And we're going to make it beautiful afterwards, so not like this flower-shaped things here. Select it into a group, and then have those, I know, safety wise not the best idea, but we're going to have those concrete pieces around here, trying to get it in a nice shape, deleting all the pieces that we don't need in the end, and it all will make sense in a second. So here you can see the finished structure. I also was putting some holes in the ground so that you actually can see the ground and the rope structure. And that's already the small trampoline area. The next thing is, I wanted to have a huge climbing frame for the children, so I decided we're going to do something with those wooden pieces and the Australian wooden planks to have something like a climbing structure, and also later on we're going to have a slide on top of it. Trying to go as much into detail as I actually could with using those window pieces, those small metal pieces, so that it looks like there were nails in it or screws. And as I said, trying to make it as realistic as I actually could. I'm also planning, if I don't forget about it until the end of the voiceover for this video, I'm also planning to put all those playground items on the workshop. So if I didn't forget about that, just have a look at the video description and there's going to be a link to my workshop where you can download all of these pieces and use it for your own zoos. But yeah, be aware, because alone the trampoline section is about 850 pieces. Yeah, I know that's ridiculous, but yeah, I couldn't help myself. So oh, and I also have to look at it in the nighttime, because you could see for the shape around it, the black things around the trampoline, I was using some lamps, and I'm not quite sure what they will do in the night. So yeah, could be interesting. Yeah, but as I told you, if I don't forget about it, you will find the link in the video description so you can download all those pieces for your own zoos and have your own little playground in your zoos. For the climbing structure, I wanted to have some variation in the climbing things that are in there, so therefore I was creating this little rope bridge like this here. Also trying to be as realistic as I actually could by using these small New World pieces. I don't know the right word in English, but you might know those. In German it is called Halterung, so if you just put that into the search tab, you will find those small pieces. Yeah, also need a little foundation to make it look realistic, so I used those little concrete pieces. I think they were from the Twilight DLC, I think. Another staircase right here, so that our kids could actually go a little bit higher when they go to the slide tower. Yeah, safety first. And as we're talking about safety first and realism, I also was using some more of the rope pieces here for our rope bridge so that it would actually work pretty fine. And I was quite happy that we do have some variation in the rope pieces right now, so that we do have the smaller ones, because when you are doing something like the rope bridge that I did in here, you need some smaller pieces. We do have some once more, what's an episode from Vacant Play when he is talking English and he is not googling the right word in English? Okay. Note. Yeah, that we do have these smaller knots or nodes in here that we didn't have before, because all the knots, I just call them knots now, because all the knots that we had in here were so huge. I was trying to use them, but yeah, they were too big to actually use them in here. So therefore I'm quite happy that we do have the small ones now. I'm not quite sure if they were from the Zookeepers DLC, but I think they were. Yeah, and as I'm using more of the pieces from the Zookeeper DLC from time to time, I already did in our restaurant for the shades that I put in here. I feel a little bad that I was not really trashing, but that I was not that happy with the DLC in the past, and didn't have that many nice words for it, and now I can find that some of the pieces are quite useful. So here we are. Was using those animal stuff in the last episode for the picnic area, so these little round-shaped animal figures. Now the knots here, the shades for the restaurant, so yeah, there's quite a few pieces that are actually very, very useful. I also do love those nets. I'm using them way too seldom, so they are pretty nice. And especially when you do something like this, like climbing structures. I think I never used those for the animal habitats, but I'm going to try that in the near future when we are going to build for some animals that are actually climbing. Yeah, I'm very tempted to use those, because I really do like the structure. More than I do like the mesh fence pieces, but yeah, this is pretty cool. So here we are. As I said, always trying to use different structures for the climbing frame for the animals. I just wanted to say animals for the children, but you can also use those pieces for the animals as well. And wouldn't it be cool if you actually could use something like this slide that I'm building right here? By the way, this is the letter O from the 3D font in the game that I actually just colored in a light blue and created the shape of the slide here. So that is a pretty easy way to create a tunnel slide. And if you don't want to create a tunnel slide, you're going to see that in a few minutes, and want to create an open slide, you can also do that by using the letter C or the, and I have to Google that once again as well. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that I do have the correct word for that here. I don't think it is clip, clamp, bracket, staple, brace, paperclip, or cramp. Yeah, especially not cramp. But you can use that piece as well. You're going to see that in a few minutes. So to create an open slide, or the thing that I created right here when the children are coming towards the bottom of the slide. So therefore I used that, that font piece. Damn it. I'm very bad in English today. I'm sorry for you guys. Okay, so last step for our climbing frame here, just adding some of those round-shaped wooden beams in here, smaller pieces, and then we are done with this part of the playground, I think. Yeah, and here you can see those smaller knot pieces once again. I'm very happy that they are recolorable because, yeah, the actual color is a little bit hideous. So, yeah. Yeah, that's it. There's our climbing frame with the slide. I hope you guys enjoy it. Yeah, adding something more to it. Just another climbing structure right here. And then we are really done. Once again, the netting. Made it a little bit smaller. Yeah, here we are. Yeah, and now we are really finished. The next thing I wanted to create was a swing, and I didn't want to have a regular swing. You guys might know these swings with these round-shaped ones with the netting in the middle of it, where you can actually not just sit but lay a little bit in it. So I wanted to have something like this, and therefore I used those round-shaped metal beams here to create a colorful outside for it, and also using some of the rope pieces, some of the bended ones, the round-shaped ones, 1 meter pieces. Yeah, once again using those and recolor them in a second. Yeah, it was not that easy to actually circle that around because it doesn't have the center in the center of the actual rope pieces, but it turns around on the end of the rope pieces, so it was a little pain in the ass to do that. But yeah, in the end I made it somehow, and it looks nice. Yeah, here you can see putting those pieces in here and using the chain pieces as well. Yeah, we're also going to change that in the end. That is something that I cut out of the video because it was a little bit too small. So I was using a path piece and put it right in front of the swing, and used some of my staff members, put them right in front of it, and I thought, no, this swing is way too small. We need it to be a little bit higher. Yeah, especially we need those let's just say it, those chain pieces to be much longer. So I made it longer and made the whole swing a little bit taller so that it would be more realistic, and also not using those round shaped wooden beams because yeah, they were too massive. So I was using these pieces from the Twilight DLC. They are also my favorite wooden beams because they are not that massive. They have a nice structure and I always like to use them. So here you can see the swing is finished on the left, and I wanted to create something for the smaller children because the climbing frame and the trampolines are more designed for older children, but you also want to have something for little ones. So I decided we're going to have another slide, and therefore I was using those statues from the Conservation DLC. In the Conservation DLC we had the Przewalski horse, the Amur leopard, the Siamang, and also the sable antelope. And yeah, for all of these creatures we do have those statues. And yeah, usually I don't know how I could use those statues because they are very, very, very special. Let me say it that way. So they don't fit in a very realistic and high detailed zoo because they are just too cartoonish. And I decided let's do something with those here for the playground. And I wanted to have something like a small climbing structure for the small children with a little playhouse on top of it and a small slide where they can go down afterwards. And yeah, that's how I created this. And I also did want to have it a little bit more colorful, because you know this on in playgrounds, most of the time the stuff for the small children is very, very, very colorful, whilst the stuff for the older children is a little bit more decent colored. Can you say that like this? I think so. So therefore I was using very bright colors, which I usually don't use, but it was pretty fitting in here. And I also was thinking if I could actually do something with the other statues as well, but I decided no, let's keep it like this. Maybe if I do come up with some ideas for the other statues as well, we're going to have something for them. But right now I'm happy how it all turned out, and I don't think we need any more in here. The playground is pretty perfect, I think. And also this might not be the last playground that we do have in our zoo, because the zoo is going to be designed to be a huge zoo, so we can have several playgrounds in here. So if there's any ideas that come up in the future, yeah, there's always place for some of those ideas in another space in our massive zoo that it's going to be at some point. Also using those recolorable planks for the roof structure here. Closing the gaps. And I think after this we are done. The only thing that we have to do then is go into some planting, some decoration, and then we are done for today's episode and our little playground is finished. So what we have to do in the next episode is create the actual entrance to our zoo, where we do have these entrance gates already. I was thinking about something like a beautiful metal gate. Don't know which pieces I'm going to use for but I do have time for another week to come up with some ideas. And yeah, then start with the first habitat for the first animal and get this zoo running. Let our guests into the zoo. I'm very, very excited for that, to see what the guests are going to use, where they are going to walk. Unfortunately, right now they can't go into the playground because yeah, why should they actually? Because they can't use any of the stuff in here. I would love to, if children actually especially were able to go into there and walk around in here, but yeah, there's no way to manage this. The only way you could actually do that or lure them into your playground alongside with the adults is if you have something like a viewing point in there or stuff like that, or an actual animal habitat, a shop or whatever. I was thinking about having the ice cream counter in there on the playground, but then I thought, no, I don't want the children to run around in here with the ice cream and putting all the ice cream on all the playthings, and yeah. Yeah, I don't think that would be a great idea. Yeah, just putting some more plants in here. I also was checking if we are going to have the plants on the back side of the playground, if it's going to be a problem and if it's going to make the whole playground too dark. But yeah, the good news is it won't. So that is something that we're also going to do in the next episode, and yeah, can't wait for you guys to see what I have in mind for the next episode and for our first animals. So I hope you did enjoy today's episode. If you did so, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button and leave a comment. I wish you a happy, happy, happy new year, and hope that I will see all of you guys well, healthy, and yeah, next year. So have a great time, guys. Bye.